Hey guys, what's up? Today I have a special treat for you. My friend Jeremy Avilla is here. Jeremy is one of the strongest deadlifters in the entire world. He deadlifted almost 900 pounds after overcoming a serious heroin addiction. It's pretty damn crazy. Jeremy and I have a lot to talk about and a lot that we can relate to. But first, I just wanted to apologize for this video not looking good. I know I'm a filmmaker and that's what I do, so the video should look awesome. But for whatever reason, we were in a hurry and we're trying to get the studio lit and work out some kinks in the studio. And Russell and I just didn't have time, and we needed to shoot this thing and get it up. So here it is. It doesn't look that great, but the content's great. So check it out. Thank you.
Fighting out of Sacramento, California.
Woo! What you gonna do?
Better. Stronger.
Son of a bitch.
Faster.
Oh yeah!
I use the snooze.
But I almost was gonna try to get this Swedish company, really high packets. They're like up to like 30
is
or
it
40.
Lucy?
Not Lucy. I've heard that.
This is like Swedish snooze. Have you had this?
No, it's from like a website. You have to like order it from actual like Sweden and stuff like that. But like the milligram per.
This
packet.
is the one they keep in the refrigerator at the stores.
Oh yeah, okay. But what's the milligrams per pouch though?
I don't know, but it's snus, so it's actually real tobacco.
Okay.
But the difference is, supposedly, no one's ever gotten mouth cancer from snus because it's pasteurized. So
Okay.
supposedly, like, it doesn't cause the same problems as tobacco. It's just higher in nicotine, I guess. So I don't know what people tell me.
Yeah,
I mean, I looked it up a bunch on the internet.
Talking about this.
I was gonna say because Kyle, I was gonna say Kingsbury was, I think, like talked about it on his time where like he had his like 30 or 40 milligram like pouches, which like these are 6. Like this is like
Also,
6
look up,
milligrams each.
Now, I know what he's talking about. I'm trying to find it. It's
But there's some
her
sort of
her husband who does radio. Her husband who does radio in L.A. talked about those on a podcast. So his spouse.
Oh, Mike Catherwood.
He's like super high milligram.
I know, Mike.
Yeah. So he takes what you're talking about.
So look up Lucy.
It's gnarly.
Look up Lucy. Lucy nicotine.
I just started hearing about these advertised like a lot. Like kind of heard them a little bit on like the podcast.
Yeah.
Is this it?
I think so.
Well, let's see what the
Totally over 20. So this slim pouches, yes.
I guess so.
Oh, that's cool. You can like see all this stuff right here. That's cool. You,
That's kinda
Does
nice.
it tell you how
Yeah.
much?
you know what? Watch this. I can look up actually the website that I'm
Right here.
Watch this.
4, 8, or 12 custom brand.
Milligrams. So those are 4, 8, or 12 milligrams.
Watch this.
So look up look up the other ones. That's a slim packet. Look up the capsule ones. See the first one? It says go back. Go back and
Yeah,
then
yeah. I'm
This.
just checking this out right here.
Look up this.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Look up Siberia.
See, this is the one right here. See.
Okay, look up Siberia.
Oh, let me find the website. This is the website right here. Buysnooze.com, I think, is the website.
No, buysnooze.com.
But the reason why I didn't order it is because you have to have like
SNUS.
you have to like put in like your freaking like
use crypto
ID,
or
all
something.
this shit, and I was like, oh fuck all that, man, that's too much.
Really?
At least that's how it was at the time. It was just like I had to like do a bunch of
Yeah,
different
one
shit.
of the websites we were looking at yesterday wanted me to register to even go into it.
Because you cannot they can't sell this milligram in the U.S.
Yeah.
Like it has to be a certain. It cannot be.
Yeah,
it's
it has
like
to be
it's like 10x what like
Yeah.
is allowed here. But yeah, they have some gnarly ones, right? So like there's like all different
I
levels.
see it, Siberia.
Yeah, this
On
one.
the
So
right, second one down on the right.
yeah,
That.
yeah,
Extremely strong.
Extremely
yeah.
strong.
White dirty
Extreme-
potion.
yeah.
43, dog.
These are
43.
6s, dude. Hey, put a
much
couple
is-
6s in your lip. You'll be fine.
How
Hey,
much does it? How much does it cost?
they're expensive. They're not cheap.
Baby price per can, $5.89 USD.
Really? That's how much it is.
Price per roll, $50.
$5.89. But here, the shipping, that's where they get you.
Maybe.
Hey, but damn, that's really good though, because I mean that is like literally one of those pouches has as same milligrams.
Russell,
as
are we
this whole
recording?
thing.
We are on. Just,
Oh, we're recording.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I thought this is interesting.
Yeah.
information. So for people that don't know,
Let's do it,
nicotine. I don't want anybody to get addicted to anything, but nicotine's actually good for your brain. And also, I think people like Jeremy and I, we come from addictive backgrounds. It's like when you have something, like it's obviously way harm reduction from the things we've done to ourselves.
It's probably not quite as bad. Like that's kind of why I like the Zens, because it's just nicotine.
Yeah, it's just nicotine.
No tobacco, nothing like that.
So, and I use the snooze, and the snooze is a pouch, right? So these pouches, they're supposedly, because they're pasteurized, they don't give you cancer or any of the other problems that all the other tobacco products have. But who knows? I mean, that's just like, I mean, that's.
I just assume it's bad.
It's literally it's people on the internet saying it. Like
I don't know. It's I just assume it's probably got some bad to it, but I mean, for me the good.
Almost everything you do is going to have some sort of drawback.
I'm just ticking this way. It was like the cans of chew, and then like I was kind of doing some like little pouches, and now it's just the nicotine, and then it'll be
let's
maybe just coffee or something like that. They have the coffee ones.
Yeah, they have coffee.
Yeah,
coffee
the nicotine. I mean the caffeine pouches or whatever.
We have a treat for you guys today. We have a world-class elite powerlifter here, my boy Jeremy Avilla, and he's been through some crazy stuff. He has an awesome story to share with you guys. We're just gonna dive into it, man. So, I mean, I guess we can just ask like how you got into powerlifting, because it kind of tells your whole story.
Oh, I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, how did I get in the powerlifting? I guess like right after I don't know, 22 or 3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's like such a big question, I mean, like it's like my whole story. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just got in the powerlifting because one of my best friends was into it at the time. He was doing like a West Side for Skinny Bastards program. I think this is like 2012 or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had like, it's funny you got the poster right here because we had 3 DVDs. We had The Bigger, Stronger, Faster. We had Pick of Destiny and Tropic Thunder.
Awesome.
And like we were
it's
like,
good company to be in.
Yeah, so we would like, we were like watching all 3 of those like movies and like living in San Francisco. I was just getting out of like living like kind of like, with like my parents, kind of like at home, like when you first kind of moved to like a big city and stuff like that. So it was like my first like group of friends that I kind of like met there.
What year is this?
This is probably in like 2012, around there. Yeah, like right around there. And then he was just like my roommate or whatever at the time. So he would go to the gym twice a day. And I thought like that is like super fucking excessive.
Yeah, what's wrong with this dude?
That is like very excessive. But he's like pretty strong though. He even had like some like barbell like weights at the house and stuff. So I started like going with him, and he had like these sheets and all these numbers and like exercises laid out. And to that point I just like played football and stuff like that. So we went in the weight room, but it wasn't really, we were trying to like track our numbers too much, or like it wasn't a big deal. It's like more like how you played on the field. So it was just like a side thing to me, but I didn't realize that people actually competed in, weightlifting or like lifting weights. Like to me, like I'd never heard of that. And I was like, I was like 23 at the time, right? So I like just never come across it too much until kind of seeing all this stuff. So I took to it pretty quickly, and at the time, like I didn't really have much else going on. I was just like working restaurants and stuff like that. So the hours fit me, and I just loved it. And my friends, like I kind of had a knack for it right away.
Yeah,
started kind of get stronger than them, and like move along, and they're like really supportive, like the ones I kind of started with, and so I kind of got pushed into doing a competition, like just kind of by myself, and it was fun. I enjoyed it.
I've never seen anybody lift like you. Like you come in here and you just go plate. You just keep like going up and up and up and up, and it doesn't stop. And it's it go like the other day you were in here and deadlifting, like just keep going all the way up until like you're up over like 700 pounds, and doing a couple like singles or doubles and stuff like that. It's just amazing to watch that. it's like really cool to see how much work goes into it too. It made me realize like, and this guy, there's a lot of work that goes into this. You can't just come in and be a world champ. Like, I'm lazy, and so I like to like get in and get out. But you're just like in there working in it. Like it took you forever to work up to that and to get there, and you're just patient, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, patience is definitely something I've learned in training. Like Jesse is kind of help instill that into like my training a little bit. I've always been kind of in a rush. You can kind of see it even the way I pull, like the like yank the bar off the ground. Kind of like always been a little more of like a herky jerky lifter.
And I also realized like you have no quit in you, so you tweaked your knee pretty bad, and then you came in the other day and you're like, I'm just gonna go light. I'm gonna use the raised plates. You use like the circus plates or whatever we call them.
Oh, what are they?
Those giant plates from Rogue.
Oh, that's right. The other
and you still worked up to like almost 700 pounds. Like when you're like supposedly hurt, and your form, looked amazing. So it's like there's no quitting you either.
Well, I mean, my favorite powerlifters, or at least like when I was kind of getting into this, are like Dan Green and like Christy Hawkins and a few people like that. And if you've like seen them, they lift that way as well. Like I train with Christy pretty frequently. She's like the best female powerlifter right now. And
Dan Green's just so intense.
Yeah, Dan Green's so intense. But like they've like all like had some like pretty like gnarly like surgeries and injuries and biceps and triceps and knees and stuff like that. And they always like find a way to train though. That's like one thing I've seen with like those really, because that's like another level of like those that are like on like a whole other level, and like they are so good at finding ways to train no matter what. Like even with one arm, with one leg. Like I've seen Dan train with like a recliner up. I've seen Christy in a sling train with like the safety bar, like squatting like 700 pounds.
No matter what.
Or 600 pounds. So yeah, just kind of find a way to keep going even when things aren't like ideal. Making the best out of like a bad program. But then there's also some people like like Ed Cones or John Hacks, like it's like, oh, you put 5 more pounds on each week. And
I think from the beginning, you and I always connected because we come from like a similar background. We both had addiction in our lives. It's really, really affected us both. I think both negatively for some period of time. Then I think like very, very positively on the way that we can like help and impact other people. Can you talk about that a little bit, like how you got into that and how you got out of that?
I don't know how I got into.
Well, how'd you get it? What kicked off the drugs, and like what were you into and stuff like that?
What kicked off the drugs?
And was it before powerlifting, or did powerlifting come in and change you, or what? Like, what's the whole story there?
Well, I mean, like my story with drugs and stuff like that is probably started when I was a little bit younger, I would say. And
how old were you?
Like 12, 11, around there.
Wow.
Like pretty young, but just like kind of a different time. You know what I mean?
Well, any like particular reason? Like, was it like lack of guidance from parents, or was it? Was it?
I had like I would say it was just like kind of like my addiction kind of ran in my family. Mm-hmm. My dad was an addict, and like my uncle, my mom, everyone kind of had like already like dealt with that stuff. So it was like you're like made aware of it, even if it's like it doesn't matter if it's like good, bad, or whatever. Like you're like made aware of it.
About it.
Yeah, you kind of know about it. You know it exists.
Yeah.
And usually when you first hear about it, like you hear about it in like the negative context. So like you hear about it like, oh yeah, bad.
Yeah.
And then like after some time goes by, you're like, well, it's really bad, but everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get curious.
It's like this.
Yeah.
Is it cheating if everyone's doing it?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like, I guess like everyone's relationship with drugs or stimulants or something probably starts around that age in one way or another, whether it's sugar, caffeine, or something. Mine just happened to be like tobacco and alcohol and like weed.
It's true. If you go by a Starbucks, there's all little like go to a Starbucks like after school time, and it's packed with kids, which is crazy. And they're all getting sugary, caffeinated, addictive drinks. So I think you're right. Like around that age, 12, 13-year-old kid that's hanging out at. That's who's hanging out at Starbucks.
Those frappuccinos became a problem for me there, and for a minute, I had to realize, okay, you're rationalizing drinking just an extra milkshake every day.
Yeah.
Every day you're just drinking an extra milkshake. I was going with my buddy, and he's like, you know, it's milkshake, right?
Yeah.
I was like, nah, it's not really. That's milkshake.
Yep.
And I had to like come to terms with the fact, okay, extra milkshake, and I had to get rid of the frappuccinos.
Dude, yeah, I mean, who would have thought that
You're off the team, Russell.
icy cold sugar and caffeine would be a hit?
Yeah. Who knew?
But yeah, no, I was just exposed to that like early. Like I was just telling my friend the other day, like it's just kind of like a little bit different time. That stuff was just around more.
Yeah.
My mom, when she had me in 1980, I'm 34, in the hospital, there's still smoking section for pregnant women. They have ashtrays in the hospital still. So like, yeah, so cigarettes and like alcohol, and those things were kind of just like, you know, a little bit of like around and stuff, but also like, so were like the consequences. In my family, like, you know, we'd like, my dad had like committed suicide through like a, you know, drug overdose. Essentially, he kind of like went into a psychosis.
How old were you when that happened?
I was 8, but like, I didn't really know, like, you know, I didn't really know all the details like I do now, but like he had like basically like gone out on like a bad bender, you know, and got like 51-50 or like, you know, sent to the hospital, and then like kind of checked himself out like somehow, and then, you know, like went and like, you know, just couldn't really get it together with like the drugs and stuff like that. Kind of, put him into like a bad spot. So he ended up taking his own life like around, actually his birthday was yesterday. He had been like 62 and he was like 36.
That's wild. Yeah, Mad Dog died at 37. It's just too young.
It's like I used to think it was like when I was a kid, I was like, oh, it's like so old, but I'm like 34 now. It's like you get like close to that age, like wow, like
it's so young.
Yeah, like you like it's kind of like interesting, kind of like perspective, kind of see it from. But to me, it's just like, you know, you gotta like be really careful who you surround yourself with. One of his friends picked him up from there, you know, and was happy to do drugs with him. You know, it's like that was his best friend, to his best option at the time. So, you know, you learn a lot from those things, like, you know, like as like you get older and stuff, you kind of see it from like different.
And so angles. How did you like what were you into, and how deep did you get into it? How bad did it get?
Yeah, you know, I tried a little bit of everything. Yeah. But I'd say like, you know, just toward the end, like the worst stuff was just mainly with like the opiates and stuff like that. That was the one that kind of like got me down pretty bad.
Yeah, that's just the strongest stuff. Right?
Oh yeah, but I mean like alcohol though. I mean, before I was 21, I had 2 DUIs.
Well, alcohol.
So
to
I was
me,
an overachiever there.
You know, in all honesty, it was actually easier to get off the opioids because once I got over the withdrawals, they were kind of hard to get, but alcohol's everywhere. So I became an alcoholic, and for me, alcohol was harder to quit than the opioids. The opioids were like, I wouldn't say it was like easy, but once I got through the withdrawals, I was like, okay, I don't need that anymore. I can't get it, whatever. But booze is just like, it's everywhere. So it was always difficult for me.
Yeah, alcohol's a tough one because they advertise it all over the place. And I know like withdrawals from like benzos and alcohol are the only two that can
What
actually
was the wake-up call for you? Like, what got you sober? What was like the, hey, come on, man?
I don't know if there's like one time. It was just like, you know, it's like Groundhog Day, you know, like Bill Murray, you know, like on like Groundhog Day over and over, like you have this like bad day over and over again. You're like, all right, like I need to change something in this like cycle.
So
but for me, it was I had like a bad like 3 months. I had like overdosed like 3 times in like that many months, and like I guess the last time
to the point where like they had to revive you, or
yeah, like do like the Narcan and stuff like that. Yeah, so like the last time, the first couple times it was just me and like one of my buddies, you know, like when like so it was like you don't really see yourself like over, you kind of just like fall asleep and wake up essentially, which is like kind of scary, but like not too bad.
Yeah, not enough.
But the last time that I did it, it was like there was lots of people around. So when I woke up, it was like in a parking lot. So I had like 30 people looking at me like in like shock. So I was like, I could like see myself kind of through their like expressions. I was like, oh shit, like this is bad. So like I knew I needed to, I just kind of had like this little moment of like, I need to do something. So I, you know.
And how long ago was that?
That was, I think that was in 2012.
2012, so not that long ago, really.
No, not too long ago.
Yeah.
Not, maybe like
10 years ago.
Yeah, about 10 years ago.
That's crazy. So from like in 10 years though, like were you lifting at all before that? We messing around
Yeah,
yet?
but it was more like I go to 24, do a couple of like, bench presses,
Yeah.
some sit-ups, maybe like go play basketball for like an hour, and then that was kind of
So you went from like an addict to a world champion in like 10 years. Pretty wild.
like,
Like black belt. Like
Yeah.
he's got a black belt in deadlifting. So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
What are your numbers? And this is amazing. By the way,
Yeah.
this guy.
oh yeah, my best lifting numbers are, 7, I think it's like 717 in sleeves or 711.
Squat.
Yeah, and then 804 in the wraps with the mono and everything, and then 200 kilos or 440 on the bench, and 893 for deadlift.
893.
Wow.
So yeah,
Just
893.
almost 900, as some people like to say, which just burns a little bit.
I know, it's like it's
It
great.
burns
'cause
a little
the other
bit.
day I'm like, "What's your best?" Like 893. I'm like, so close. It seems like everybody says that. Like as soon as you bring up 893, people are like, "You're not going to go for 900."
Is that a common number? Is that like a common?
Well,
It's
it's
just
like
a
it's like a big benchmark number. Like
Is it?
you want to lift 900.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
Like, you want to do that.
So-
yeah.
Yeah, so like yeah, 893. So that's the first thing I asked you. Are you going for 900? He's like, of course I am.
Yeah, right.
But basically, he said, I can't die without doing
Yeah,
900.
no,
right?
no,
Wow.
can't get out the game, so you can't stop at 893.
Yeah.
When's
no
the man's
fucking way.
typical peak strength at? When does the body start
Whenever-
to work against you?
Shit,
Strength.
I'd say since you're born, but
Yeah.
but
I'd say like
Whatever you
your
quit, I mean,
age
there's
is
a lot
your,
of-
I think you're at a good age to be breaking world records. Like that's
Yeah,
a good. Some
strength
people do
sports-
it later, like Stan. Stan's been pretty outstanding through his 40s. So it just depends on how long he can stay healthy, I think.
Right.
yeah, that'll be the real question. So I mean, it's really what you're like, what you're able to like, withstand.
The
through
most
training,
incredible
so.
thing and what we use for the thumbnail of this episode is I have a picture that I just found the other day of me standing there with him with his shirt off, and he's standing backwards. His back, the Christmas tree in his back looks like abs. It looks like, yeah, so his back is so thick from deadlifting so often and so much that it looks like he has abs on his back. It looks absolutely insane. So the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
It like sticks out.
That's also awesome.
It's like a double ass.
Yeah.
He's got like a back that goes like this.
I saw you when you were in that outfit. What's it called? Your
Oh,
powerlifting.
he came in the
Oh,
singlet.
the
Like,
singlet. Yeah,
does
the
this look
singlet.
good? And we're like, we have a boner.
You
Like,
got break
guy,
up.
so the other thing, yeah, he's jacked and shredded at like, and I'm like, how much you weigh? He's like 240, all giggly and laughing. Like, but 240 and like jacked. Like he went up
Are
to
you
240.
Are you 240?
I'm 230 now. I'm 230.
You were
I
240
I
though.
was
that
240
day.
like when I saw you then.
Yeah.
It was a little
Just
bit bigger.
absolutely shredded. Like
Yeah.
you're from a comic book.
Well, it's like I mean, the program that we do.
Have you
has a
always
lot of
been pretty
accessories.
lean?
I've always been pretty lean. Yeah, I've always had like pretty lean genetics and stuff like that. So I don't know. I wouldn't say. I'd say it's mostly a genetic thing.
Yeah.
I mean, my training is.
Well,
I don't know if it's my training is much different than any other like high
So
level competitor.
you've been deemed by Mark a couple years ago as the gas station eater, the gas station diet by Jeremy Avilla.
Wow.
Because you could perform at really high levels, basically like from eating at a convenience store. Do you still eat that way, or have you changed things up?
I mean, I'm always going to go the extra mile if that's what you're asking. I mean, if you're asking that, of course. I mean, in the pandemic, what was open? Just
Yeah.
the gas stations.
The
man.
essentials, man.
It's a survivable
Essential
diet.
businesses.
It's a survivable diet. Gas stations will never go anywhere. Grocery stores have proven that they could let you down.
That's true.
Right?
There you go.
Right?
So the gas station
Exactly.
diet still exists?
Oh yeah, it's
Still in
strong.
existence?
It's strong. It's not for everybody, but it's strong. It's going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I try to when I eat myself, I try to like push more toward like a vertical-ish, like rice,
Yeah.
red meat, and like I like the bone broth and stuff like that. I actually just ordered a bunch of meals, stuff like that on Dan's thing, but that's usually I eat pretty simple beyond that.
Yeah.
But
You've improved it.
I like
improved it.
I like my sweets and stuff like that. I like my donuts and like I eat.
Do you have donuts do you eat stuff like that every day?
Not
like-
every day, but if they're around, I'm gonna eat them.
It's so difficult
I'm gonna eat
because
them.
him and I are always on
down.
some sort of diet.
Yeah.
We're like going keto or carnivore or something, and then we'll still get fatter. And then this guy comes in, he's like, "Yeah, I got every couple days I'll have a donut."
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I'll say this though. I go like I have days where like I kind of just go with that. Like I move a lot and like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
like I'll
Well, we
don't
talked
eat until
about
later in the
this.
day. So it's not like
we talked about this too. You're a fidgety person. Like you move around a lot. Like you have to be moving, right? And I think that goes a long way into how fit you are.
Yeah. So I mean, I got the little tracker, like steps, and I without really trying, I usually get about like 10,000, 5,000 at least of me trying to like find my keys and shit. Just like walking around aimlessly.
That's me. Yeah. 5,000.
I got about 5,000 steps of like looking for shit.
Yeah.
And then like another 5,000 are like maybe like meaningful
of actually doing something.
Now, say there's a dozen donuts at your house. Someone brought them by. How many are you crushing for a breakfast?
Well, here's the thing. It depends where they're from. Also, I'll tell you this: someone left some Safeway donuts on the Hyper yesterday. Trash. You can leave 100 of them. Won't touch them. They're not coming near me. It have to be some quality. It have to be a quality donut.
Like a Krispy Kreme or what?
Krispy Kreme, absolutely. Yeah, like a Krispy Kreme. I like a crumb donut. Crumb donut from almost anywhere.
Are we talking 3?
It just depends. I mean, at least like 1 or 2.
1 or 2.
Are you aware of Dunkin' Donuts? Have you ever been able to go to Dunkin' Donuts? I don't know if they have them around here.
I've never been to a Dunkin' Donuts, but I almost did over by where I was getting my doctor's appointment. There's a Dunkin' Donuts close by.
Yeah, if you Dunkin' Donuts is a classic, like good solid donut. I haven't had one in years, but every time I go to like the East Coast and you go to there's a Dunkin' Donuts, you gotta kind of go.
Yeah,
East Coast shit's
Waffle House. That's what I know about the East Coast. Waffle House is.
That's more of like Midwest kind of.
Is that Midwest?
Like,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Waffle House is like kind of awful, but kind of great too. Like if you're a power lifter, you have to know about Waffle House because all the meats, like all the bigger meats, used to be in like the Midwest, and you'd always end up near a Waffle House, and it's a perfect place for like a pre-meat or post-meat. You just get like as much carbs, protein, and fat as you want, basically. Mm-hmm. You know, the way you can order like 1 million waffles and get stuff smothered on top of it. And it's not like really good, but there's something kind of good about it.
It's serviceable. It's reliable. Serviceable and reliable.
It's not great, but like you kind of just know what you're getting into. You know?
Makes sense.
Yeah, waffle. So what's going down? What's the plan now? You tweaked your knee a little bit, right?
Yeah. So actually, just met at the ortho yesterday, and they're gonna go in and like scope it. Just got some like a little bit like clean up some.
Oh, so you did get checked out? Not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But the only thing that I was like more like I was concerned about is I had a pretty good strain to the quadriceps tendon, mm-hmm. So I'm glad that wasn't like worse, but probably got to let that chill for a little bit and. Yeah, I'll get a date soon for them to go in and clean it up, and yeah, I'm hoping that'll then after that it'll be like a mean soon. This knee's been giving me problems for years, so yeah, I'm hoping that it'll kind of clear some of that up. And then I'm hoping too while they go in there, I'm gonna see if they'll do like a PRP injection or something since I'll already be under. So hoping to come out better.
What's it been like getting a lot of attention in powerlifting? Like I think that. Like you start out basically just like lifting in a couple meets, and then all of a sudden you're battling Dr. Deadlift for like, these top deadlift spots and stuff like that. How what's it been like being like a popular lifter? Do you like enjoy it? You have fun with it?
I don't think I would ever have considered myself really like a popular lifter. Yeah, I've always felt like I've just been, chilling, doing my thing a little bit, just comparatively to like some of the other like big lifters out there, as far as like their followings and stuff like that. But
it's got to be pretty cool because a lot of these big lifters they like really look up to you too, Yeah,
it's been cool getting to like see some like especially some of the newer lifters. I'm like a big fan of powerlifting, So it's really funny to be like competing in a sport that you're also a big fan of because you end up being kind of a fan.
Because I tell like Andre Milanichev about you, and he's like a big fan of you, and you're like a big fan of him. You know what I mean? Like that's what he's like. Oh, very strong. Like even I bring somebody up to him, like, very strong. Like he gets all pumped.
Yeah, it's fun. It's hard not to like these people because like. To do some of these things, like what they had to do, so like there's like a bit of a kinship. Yeah, so there's like that. There's a bit of that, and but yeah, I mean, there's a huge meet coming up this weekend.
Mark said something to me about like he said you have 1,000 pounds on your back and your bones shift. He's like you join a club, like you're like in this club of like I had 1,000 pounds on my back, like and it's like Mark did it geared, but I don't think it mattered. I think. Put 1,000 pounds on your back.
Exactly. Like put 1,000 pounds on your
I also think like I remember Trustin Scholl deadlifted 804, and I remember like the big difference for me was that the floor shook when he put it down. And I just remember that. I'm like, that is so powerful. Like an 800-pound deadlift is there. Like you need so much power to generate that. And then when you feel it being put back down on the ground, you're like, man, that person has some power, you know? So it's like an elite club for you that you guys are up in those numbers, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's been cool. You know, I definitely, when I got into lifting, I think the guy was a lifter I looked up to a lot earlier, just like, trying to like chase or something would be like Jesse Norris. And I usually just pick these things. I never thought I would, you know, I never knew how close I would get or do anything like that. Just kind of enjoyed the process of lifting.
Jesse Norris deadlift like 850 at 198 or something, right?
He did 765 walked out squat and sleeves, and he benched like 440 and deadlifted 826 at 198, like in like 2012.
Crazy.
And then I think that was like record breakers. And I was like one of
I went to his uncle's gym. His uncle has a gym in Idaho, I believe.
Yeah.
And the whole time his uncle was just complaining about Jesse and how like this was like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He's like, I've been trying to get him back like hard into lifting, and his uncle, he was so disappointed. He was so bummed. He's like, he's got this girl and like I just had to hear it the whole time that like his uncle was like disappointed he's not like lifting like that anymore.
It's so funny that like, you know, I always think it's so funny because people give Jesse a lot of shit for that. It's like, well, how could you go build a family and have a happy life and enjoy walking normally? It's like,
yeah, like
he did at that time. He was beating the super heavyweights.
Yeah, and you
sleeves,
just look like, did he get what he wanted out of it? He got it. You know, everybody knew who he was, and it's like, dude, it's not up to us to tell people what they want in their life. You know what I mean? Yeah. If he really went downhill for real and like he felt like that, then I'm sure he'd fix it, you know? But if he's happy, then like, who are we to say like, oh, I wish you still lifted, or, you know, it's really funny is that Mark was trying to be a pro wrestler. And when Mark was like he told me he quit WWE, he was in WWE's developmental camp. He told me he quit, and I was like, what are you going to do? Like, you don't know how to do anything. Like, what are you possibly going to do with your life? He's like, I don't know. I'll figure it out, like powerlifting or something. And I'm like, there's no money in powerlifting. You can't, like, I was really disappointed, like, because I had put a lot into helping him be a wrestler. Yeah. And I thought that, like, hey, man, like, you're supposed to be doing this thing. And then, you know, it ended up being the best thing he ever did.
Yeah, I mean,
so, who cares?
I think people like that, like, they have that type of work ethic, and as soon as they apply to something else, they're probably going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like again, like
we know that you can't walk away until you hit 900, so we know you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean that's 100% for sure. Like that just can't happen. Like anything, yeah, you know, I gotta give that a fair shake. That's something I've wanted to do for a long time. So I've had that goal for years and years and years. At the time, I remember, you know, only a handful of people have done it, but now you got like all types of weight classes hitting 900. It's incredible to see. There's like 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds hitting 900 now. Like, that's got to be a trip for you to see because you've been in powerlifting a long time.
Forever, man.
Where it was like, how many 900-pound deadlifts were you seeing 10 years ago? Like,
now people do like every other week. There's a new guy. So like, you know, what Mark was saying is Julius Maddox got to be so mad because like, some guy just benched like 800 pounds.
That fucking guy, where's he from?
Mark's like, who knows if it's real, but you know, we don't. It's unofficial, I guess.
The Iranian bench beast.
Yeah, the Iranian.
Yeah. I mean, he looks like he could do it.
Yeah. So hopefully it's real, but like, it's just crazy to see these people. Like, I think also like the internet and social media, like, pushes strength. Like if you didn't know somebody, if you saw somebody deadlift at 2,000 pounds, you know, would the record then go up? Like would you start seeing other people getting close to it? Probably. Right? Yeah. Like if there was some crazy freak that could do it, you'd see other people trying to get there, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
It's weird. There's got to be some limit to it at some point, but...
Oh, you got it up right here.
Somebody will bench 900 raw someday.
I mean, it's hard to say what's possible. I mean, the sport's like pretty young.
Let's see that. Play that.
Yeah, let's see it. This looks pretty legit to me.
No, it looks legit.
Yeah,
as hell. Legit to me. Like we don't know if it's like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, how do you know? You want to see it done at like a competition.
But I think he has such a pause and he like look at that.
Or
it is so crazy.
Bend to it.
Yeah, I would say I think it's legit. I don't think they would have. It doesn't. if it was like fraudulent, it'd probably be more over the top.
Oh,
You know what I mean? It's like it's just set up at a gym. It's like it doesn't look like it's.
But to me, I
fraudulent,
mean, it's not a world record. I mean, to me, Julius Maddox is the guy.
Yeah, you have to
He's
have
done
it.
it at a competition.
You have to do it in a
He's done
competition.
it in competition standards. He picked a date. He said, "I'm going to be my strongest this day." He
Yeah.
made it there. He did it.
Well, the deadlift is a weird thing
Yeah.
with like Thor because he didn't do it in a meet. He did it like in his gym because of COVID. And they
Unique,
had-
yeah. You know, I don't. Yeah, that's like a seemed like a unique time and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like I guess if you absolutely have no other options and like
Yeah.
you know in the foreseeable future, you don't know. But I mean,
I just look at it as like, okay, well, we know Thor can deadlift that much. Is it a world record? Who really cares? Like, it's an amazing lift.
yeah.
He did it. Eddie Hall did it. You know, they're like a pound away from each other or whatever.
But I think the people who really care are going to be the people holding that record.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, hey, well, you know, I had to do it under these conditions,
Speaking of which,
and I would like it to be.
The Eddie Hall, pull this up. Eddie Hall and Thor are finally going to fight,
Yeah,
right?
that's I was just thinking that as well.
I can't wait to see that. Like, I know it's funny because when they first announced it, I'm like, well, who cares about that? But then this has been building up for a while.
I like seeing some of the strength athletes go into like these like fighting sports and stuff
Well, I
like that. So
like,
they do.
I really like Eddie Hall and I really like Thor. I think they're both cool. So, like, I don't really have like a favorite that I want to win.
Yeah.
I just want to, like, that'd be cool. It'd be a cool thing to see. You know, Rogan was talking about, like, if there was a super heavyweight that was good enough that the UFC would, they would have a super heavyweight category. They haven't had a super heavyweight that's good enough. What if these guys put on a good fight? That might be a thing, you know, like, be great to see them in the UFC. You know what I mean? If they were good at it. If this is a mess, then
Yeah,
like
but-
okay, let's call it off. But if this is interesting, then maybe you got something there. I
They're
don't know.
doing the thing here I hate with these promotional posters.
Oh no.
Okay, isn't Thor's taller than Eddie Hall, right?
Yes, way taller.
But they in any fighting organization, they make the shorter, stockier guy as tall as the longer, leaner guy in the in these posters.
Looks like an even matchup.
And then-
Look, well, Eddie looks bigger.
And he looks bigger because he's shorter. You know, and they make the image larger to match the height of Thor. I wish they would scale these.
I
a little
wonder
bit
if
better.
this is the heaviest boxing match in history because didn't Muhammad Ali fight Haystacks Calhoun and he weighed like 600 pounds? It's a technicality. I'm just wondering.
But I don't know. I feel like if they don't have like mixed martial arts experience, like
I know he
it might
fought
not be,
Gorilla
fun to
Monsoon.
watch,
It wasn't
like,
Haystacks
I don't
Calhoun.
know.
And Gorilla Monsoon's not that fat. He was only like 400 pounds. So yeah, this could be the heaviest in history.
You seen that? Also, Steffi Cohen is boxing as well. Have you seen any of her stuff?
Who's Steffi Cohen boxing? She won their first fight, right?
Yeah, she won her first one.
Or was it a draw?
I know she didn't. Maybe it was,
Maybe it was
a
a
draw.
draw
It might have been a
or
draw. I think she might have fought. I think she's fought twice actually. I want to say she's fought twice.
You know, good for her. If people want to do
Yeah.
stuff, that's cool. Like I think, like Steffi Cohen is like what an amazing athlete she is. She's 123 pounds and deadlifted like.
Yeah, she
Like
did like
500?
everything you'd want to do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's deadlifted over 500 and like squat. I think she squatted that or close to it in like reps.
Yeah.
she's like a soccer athlete too. Before I think, so she's like an athletic girl. So like seeing her over like her how she's like kind of changed her training into like boxing has been pretty cool to see. I think she's done it pretty well. But yeah, see
Oh,
like at
Natty too, right?
Sue, I mean,
That's what the claims are.
but yeah, like I mean, find a more recent one because she just posted one recently of
Yeah, what a
her getting ready
savage.
for
though.
boxing or whatever. I think it was on her Instagram page. But yeah, it's been fun. Like it's fun kind of seeing some of the like strength athletes like transition to other things, seeing like what
I mean,
they can
she's
do.
just always shredded.
Yeah,
This is her.
yeah, it's right there.
How much she squat?
I mean, that's like 500 pounds right there.
So insane.
That is 500 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, she's doing boxing now.
What is it about people you think that like I mean you're like this. What is it about you? Like do you think it's tendon strength? Like what is it that makes you guys so damn strong? You're not that like well you're pretty jacked now, but you were 220 for a while. Like you're not super thick, but you're super strong. What do you think that is?
I don't know. I think it's just the training that you do probably has an effect, or like you're going to
Yeah.
read leverages or something like that. But I think the same thing when I look at, I think the biggest person like that I think of is Yuri Belkin. Because I don't know if you've ever seen him in like person, but he doesn't look, he doesn't have like an incredible. Obviously, he looks like he lifts and all that kind of stuff. There's this incredible picture of him at like Boss of Bosses. One of these
Look up
big
Yuri
meets.
Belkin. Let's see what he
Look
looks
up
like.
Yuri Belkin with Dan Green and Kevin Oak. There's this picture. They're all in the same weight class, and Dan Green and Kevin Oak are like significantly bigger and like jacked, and then like Yuri looks like like their little brother, and he like out totals them by like 100 like 50 kilos or something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
But
Like Kaler is like kind of a leaner guy too.
Oh
He
yeah,
doesn't look
I mean,
like
he's
super.
jacked. Yeah, but
Well, he's more jacked now.
URIBALKEN.
yeah, YURY.
I remember when I first met
BLK.
Kaler, I'm like, wait, you lift how much? Like for what? And then when I met John Hack, he's super like lean and like in great shape, and he looks like a bodybuilder. He looks like a men's physique competitor or something.
Yeah, he's the biggest freak in powerlifting for sure.
It's crazy, man.
Insane. Benches like 600 pounds, like 200.
He look like he makes it look.
Here it
Everything
is.
looks fake.
Yeah, somewhere here. But there's like a great picture like somewhere online of like him with the other.
I think
two
John Hack
competitors
will
in
be
his
like
weight
the
class.
greatest of all time if he stays healthy.
Is this who we're talking about?
Because he kind of
Yeah, it's let's see.
Is this
Yeah, Yuri.
after injury? This old?
That's probably new.
This is pretty right. This is pretty.
Oh, that's Yuri Belkin.
That's recent. Yeah, he might have just got hurt. But
That's Yuri
That's the
Belkin.
old picture I was talking about though. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, he just looks like normal.
Yeah, but he's like great. I mean, beside him and John Hack.
That's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Him and John. I'd say like Dan, but not just
best
him.
overall
Not just him
powerlifter.
and John. Like Dan Bell. Like dude, Dan. I mean, there's probably like three to five guys that if they show up to a meet, they're probably gonna win. But if John has his best day, like no, it's pretty hard.
Look
for
up
anybody
John
to beat him.
Hack. How do you
I think it's HAA.
Is this
something.
Yuri that we're talking about here?
Yeah, that's Yuri right there.
He's great. Look at him.
Yeah, him and John and like Dan.
Look how many freaking plates he's got on there. Look at this guy.
But I just mean as far as like you're talking about, like when you like look at somebody, it's
Yeah, he looks
he's
like a
very
normal
pretty unassuming.
Sleeper powerlifter right here, right?
But he's the
Guy's jacked.
like, he's incredible.
He's
He's
so
literally
strong.
he's one of the best ever. Like
Look at how he just sets up with that heavy weight. His hair. Everything's
he's great.
How low he got. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, just like as far as how he looks, and like same thing with like John. Like you can never look at him and be like, yeah, that guy can.
Look
bench
up John
600
Hack.
pounds. Yeah, he's another good one.
John
Actually,
Hack.
he's pretty jacked now. I can't say
Yeah,
that
John-
too much anymore though.
John
He's
Hack
gotten
looks
pretty jacked now.
That's what's weird because that's
He's
what
got-
happened to
like,
Kaler
he's-
too. Kaler was kind of skinny and then he went
Yeah.
and got yoked because all the lifting caught up with him.
Yeah, exactly. I would say like in the last couple like year and a half or two, John's actually he's pretty jacked up now. It's huge.
Go to his Instagram maybe.
But yeah, you were saying. I mean, if
He backs us out like every day, right?
Oh, I don't know
He
what
does
his
some
I don't know
crazy-
what his program is.
What-
So
what-
you guys had him on I mean, I think Mark had him on
Yeah.
a little bit ago.
What's your training like? You train with Jesse Burdick.
I train with Burdick, and we do like a conjugate style training.
Is this our guy right here?
Yeah, that's him right there.
Do you guys do box squats, regular squats? What do you do?
I mean, we do. I mean,
You
in our
really
off season program, it's usually like in a given month we have 6 squat sessions, 6 deadlift sessions, 1
Look at
heavy
this guy's
box.
form. Like, you know what gets me so jealous about him is the way he grabs the bar. Even like my shoulder's so shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like almost like a pretty narrow grip. He holds the bar like almost like a mid bar, like a high bar a little bit. It's like his style of squat. Works good though. I mean, he's got a great squat, so working for him.
You know what's great is that the more people that get exposed to lifting, the more chances we have of seeing freaks like this.
Yeah, that's what's good.
You know,
I mean,
like
when you cast a wide net like that, you
like a
grab
lot of
more
people
like
probably
that.
never tried lifting before, and now that lifting's so popular, we just get, the more people you get, the more you're going to find, because it takes somebody to like lift a weight to see if they're good at it, to go like, I'm pretty good at this,
Yeah, well, like I think the best example of that would be like if you start like getting like not that there's enough money in powerlifting, but like NFL like level like talents if they decided to like
Yeah.
powerlift instead. Like for example, like Larry Allen, who pretty famous like bench 700 pounds in the off season, being a football player. Just,
Yeah.
bench.
There kind
700
of
pounds.
is like there's not necessarily like
If
money.
he dedicated
There's
himself
not money
to
in powerlifting, but
who knows?
powerlifting is a way to do something with yourself. Like for example, like you, for example, you can coach people based on the fact that you can deadlift a lot. A lot of people would want to come to you because you can lift a lot. So there are things you can do.
Oh no,
right?
that's what I mean. I mean, like just comparatively, like you know, when you play football, you get a check every week for the game you played. And the powerlifting, it's different. Like you get eyeballs on you. People might want to work with you. You can monetize it in a different way. But as far as like,
but you have to monetize it. Nobody's going to hire you. Nobody's going to hire you to be a power lifter. You know.
But if you're like a top like 5 lifter and there's like 3 or 4 big meets a year, then there's a few people like that can make like 40, 60, 80,000 maybe depending on the meets.
What are your goals in like powerlifting? What do you want to do?
Like I said, I got to deadlift 900 pounds, and I really want to total over 2,000 in sleeves. That's something I thought I would do a while ago, but I still got real close. And I think I'd like to do another wrapped meet. I've done 21, 27 in wraps. I'd like to do another wrap meet and go for like 2,200. Yeah. But man, I got to deadlift 900 pounds. That's gotta
do that. What advice would you have for like? I know you love to help. Especially like younger kids and people get started in lifting and things like that. What would be your best piece of advice to, the younger audience out there that's just getting involved in lifting, whether they're younger or not, but just people just getting started? What do you see people do wrong, and what do you see people do good?
Probably try to like for like young kids. I think maybe like they try to parents. Well, not they, because kids do what the parents want usually, but like probably try to specialize too early. Just play everything. Play every sport. Don't just lift, get outside, play team sports, play solo sport, like do all that stuff. Just move.
Yeah, just keep moving.
Yeah, and then when you find the thing that that you enjoy to do the most, just run with that.
Hone in on it once you figure it out.
But I'd say like everybody, probably should learn their way around the gym, but don't let that be like your sport. Go get an actual sport.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. I think we're good. We're good to go. That was a great conversation. My boy Jeremy Avilla.
Yeah.
Where can people find you at? Where can they get you on social media and stuff if they want to hit you up?
Just on Instagram, Jeremy Avilla. Yep, right there's where they can find me. And yeah, I'm not on anything else. Other platforms. That's it.
He's a very simple man. It was great to talk to you, brother.
Yeah, good to talk to you too.
Let's
Chris.
go lift.
Thanks. Let's go lift. I'm
Yeah.
down.
Boom.
Boom.